What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gem Mint, and I've been meaning to do this video for a while, but I've been so busy with moving, and then we went out of town. We were in St. Joseph, Michigan, over at Collector Zone for StatueCon, which was a blast. Check out the tour over there. But today, we're going to take a look at these 3 new Spider-Man Omnibus. One of them comes out this week, and then the rest over the next couple of weeks or so. But we've got the Spectacular Spider-Man by J.M.D. Mateus and Sal Buscema. We've got from the late, great Peter David, the Symbiote Spider-Man Omnibus, which collects a couple of his 5-issue miniseries that he did with the character. And then we have from the most recent Spider-Man volume, the Spider-Man Gang War Omnibus. Super excited to take a look at these. Before we do, if you like the videos, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything, and let's jump into it. Let's start with the Symbiote Spider-Man Omnibus first, since this is the one that comes out this week. Rest in peace to Peter David. He did so much for comic books. I actually was thinking of a couple of videos like back in the day, creators who have the most omnis, and like Stan Lee would have been up there. Peter David for sure. He might have written the most comics that have become omnis. Anyway, we have art by Greg Land, who also did the artwork for the standard cover. You do have a direct market variant by Nick Bradshaw. You have the Symbiote Spider-Man trade dress. Here's the spine, a little bit of a thinner omni. You've got the little back in black on the bottom and on the back, Charlotte's Web style. So this one retails $100, and it collects, like I said, all those 5-issue Symbiote Spider-Man miniseries. Peter David went back to the time where Peter had the symbiote but didn't know that it was an alien. So that's where these stories take place. You have the first 5-issue miniseries, Symbiote Spider-Man, then the Absolute Carnage, Symbiote Spider-Man 1 through 5, Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality 1 through 5, the King in Black miniseries. The Crossroads one might be the only one I haven't read. And then the Symbiote Spider-Man 2099, which I also have the trade paperback, and I read it in single issues. Very cool to see that collected in this omnibus as well. Then under the hood, we have a brief synopsis of where we're at in this story with, like I said, Spider-Man having the black costume, not realizing that it's a living alien being, his interactions with Black Cat, Mysterio, Hobgoblin, Doctor Strange, and the list goes on and on. Of course, Carnage and Knull with those 2 event tie-ins. Then a biography on the creators, Peter David, Greg Land, and is it ROGÉ, ANTÓNIO? Beautiful wraparound cover on the back. Got some black cover pages. Nice pin up here. Symbiote Spider-Man by Peter David. And I would imagine it collects them all in those 5-issue kind of groups. So here's an introduction by Ralph Macchio, longtime Marvel editor. He's done a ton of introductions. So after the first Secret Wars, Peter Parker returned to New York City with a brand new costume that he thought had been crafted by alien technology. Ended up being he went into the wrong room and ended up with a symbiote. Opens up here with Mysterio. So if you are a fan of the symbiote, you must have seen these in the comic shops over the last few years or so. Like I said, Peter David did a few mini-series. They were all 5 issues. Some of them were event tie-ins, but then they would just have their own little, like, crossing or the original 5-issue mini-series. So here's the stuff with Mysterio and Black Cat. You got some Greg Land artwork. Looks super clean. So you're probably going to get some double dipping, I would assume, here with the King of Black Omnibus and the Absolute Carnage Omnibus. Yeah, here it goes. I could almost guarantee it. But still cool to get all this collected in just one volume. We just lost Peter David. I'm seeing his kind of double page spread in current modern Marvel comic books. It's nice to see, but it's also very sad to see. Here's the stuff where he's going up against Hobgoblin. So this is a keeper for me. Definitely like this collection of books, these stories. I know it's not really, it's canon, but it's not canon, right? It's kind of like retconning stories that happened in the past. Mr. E, little Rocket Raccoon action. That must be the crossing stuff because I haven't read that. But Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 is some of my favorite. I love the artwork. I love bringing back Venom 2099. Oh, I was wrong. Here's Crossroads. So the Crossroads still has the Black Cat. Little Tyrannosaurus Rex, or was that Devil Dinosaur? All right, so here's the ending of that. And then boom, going into the Symbiote Spider-Man 2099, which he actually, or the artist homaged the original, but they switched it up to Venom 2099. I actually did a solo video on just issue 1 of this. Dug the covers for these, super cool. So Spider-Man 2099 with the symbiote, essentially. Love the artwork on that one. So cool, man. Nice collection of Spidey stories. Let's see, what do we have in the back as far as bonus materials? So we've got, oh man, this was like a McFarlane cover. Yeah, the Hidden Gem variant for Symbiote Spider-Man 1. That's right, they had some great variants for these runs. Argerm, Gwen Stacy, Scotty Young. This is the direct market variant for the Omnibus. Yeah, some great variants came out during this time. That McFarlane Hidden Gem was crazy, though. I think that was for some kind of magazine or some type of poster for back in the day. All right, so then after that, looks like we have some Greg Land storyboards. Oh, Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, rest in peace to both the brothers. Ralph Grassetti doing the 3D sculpted Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. And that's it, man. So that's the first Omni. If you guys missed out on any of those San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, look no further than that Spider-Man booth on Whatnot. They've got the Invincible Universe Battle Beast exclusive by Ryan Otley, the Marvel Swimsuit Special by Rose Besh, and they even got that rare Jim Lee Hush 2 black and white cover. Make sure to bookmark that Spider-Man booth's upcoming shows and give them a follow. Next up, we've got the Spider-Man Gang War Omnibus, comes out on August 20th. This is the standard cover, and then you have the Ryan Stegman direct market variant, which is very cool. And then here we have the spine, that yellow, kind of reminds me of like caution signs. So like I said, this was during the last volume of Amazing Spider-Man, so Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr., and then you had this Gang War event that took place during those comics, but then it crossed over with other things. So you have Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike, then Amazing Spider-Man 39 through 44 from the 2022 volume. Then Daredevil had a 4-issue miniseries. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu had 3 issues. Jackpot 1, Luke Cage Gang War 1 through 4, Miles Morales Spider-Man 13 through 16, and Spider-Man 1 through 4 from 2023. So yeah, you have Zeb Wells, Cody Ziegler, Erica Schultz, Greg Pak, a ton of creators, $100 omnibus. As always, inside of the dust jacket gives you a brief synopsis on what's going on in this story. A quick look at all the creators. So who did I miss? John Romita Jr., Federico Vincentini, and then the actual omnibus hardcover with the black and yellow. Digging the artwork on this. All right, of course, it opens up to some black cover pages. Here goes our nice little pinup. All the different credits. Starts off with the First Strike, so showing the gang war territories, all the crime bosses, Hammerhead, Diamondback, Owl. So this whole thing is a power struggle to see who's going to be the new head of New York City. You've got Hammerhead, Mr. Negative, the Rose, all these characters, which leads to this big war. This one I'm not as familiar with compared to like Symbiote Spider-Man and the Spectacular Omnibus that we're going to read up next. But I did read up on some of this here and there. So it goes from the Gang War to ASM 39. I'm thinking it's going to collect the ASM stuff back to back, then Luke Cage, then Spider-Woman. Let's take a look to see if that's how it plays out. Yeah, so this is around, recent stuff where Elektra is the current Daredevil. You have that new version of the Owl. Very John Romita right here. JR. So let's see what's going to be next. Here goes Tombstone. It's a cool street level story for Spidey. Almost as recent as you can get as far as like events that are done. Yeah, so here you go. So you get some variants after the issue, and then it jumps into ASM 40. I know a lot of you guys like to kind of see what the mapping looks like in these. Yeah, so you can see those territories being taken over. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Tombstone. This all led up to Tombstone because that's who was, I think, the first villain in this run, if I recall. I was reading it as it was coming out. Yeah, then jumping into the next issue of ASM. Don't forget your J. Scott Campbell variant, Peach Momoko, Tony Daniel. So, is this a keeper for me? Probably not. Oh, man, this was crazy. This was, from the Marvel Masterpieces by the brothers Hildebrandt. Anyway, I don't really have an attachment to the story. I'll probably blaze through this omnibus. As you can see, it's not really that thick of an omni. I could probably read it, and it's modern stuff as well. But I don't know if this is really a keeper for me like Symbiote Spider-Man is. I didn't really love the last run. I'm reading the current ongoing. Same artist is on there, but this time it's written by Joe Kelly, the current run. Yeah, so after the Spider-Man stuff, it jumps into Luke Cage, current mayor of New York, after the aftermath of, I guess, King in Black, really, right? Wasn't it around that era? Luke Cage, number 3. So this is what you see is what you get, how it's mapped out, just like it's basically mapped out the same way that it's described on the back here. And you have that modern art, modern storytelling. Here's the Miles Morales stuff. I actually have not been keeping up with that run. And let's see, what do we have as far as the bonuses? That's Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, Shang-Chi. It was Elektra, Nachios for the Daredevil stuff. Daredevil, the Woman Without Fear. So more variants, but that could be just after that. After they were showing variants after each issue. Nice little homage, Kraven the Last Hunt. Another Hildebrandt Bros classic painting. They brought a lot of those back for these, huh? Nice connecting cover on the bottom here. Those are always fun. Here we have some pages by Sergio Davila and Sean Parsons. Nice border around them. It's a well put together omnibus for sure. I like how when it has like a graphical theme and everything. So that's that. Let's jump into Spectacular. All right, this stuff right here is my whole childhood. Spectacular Spider-Man, J.M. DeMatteis, Sal Buscema. When I got this in the mail and I saw this cover, I was like, wow, man, I just love the art. Such bold lines. This is the Sal Buscema direct market variant. The regular cover, though, is the Spectacular Spider-Man. Is it 200? The one that had the hollow foil with the web, similar to like ASM 375. And I might be confusing it with Web of Spider-Man 100. Anyway, I would have preferred that cover, but beggars can't be choosers. I like the regular cover better on this omnibus. I love the big, bold spine, though, man. This is a thick Omni, big, Spectacular Spider-Man logo, Spidey on the bottom. I always say Mark Bagley is my favorite Spider-Man artist, but, man, Sal Buscema might be, like, right there neck and neck. It's an old-school Omni, so you have all of the covers on the back. Here's the cover right here that I was mentioning. So this collects Spectacular Spider-Man 178 through 216, so that's got to be 200. Annuals 12 through 14, and ASM Soul of the Hunter with a $125 cover price. Now, I don't know if they plan to still do Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 2. I was kind of surprised when I got this in the mail, and I was like, oh, they're going creator-centric instead of following like Volume 1 with the first volume of Spectacular, but this collects issue up to issue 42, and then this one jumps all the way starting at 178, like I said. All right, on the inside of the dust jacket, yeah, a lot of stuff with Green Goblin, with Normie and Harry, little Normie, the grandchild. So there's the synopsis of where we're at here and a biography on the two creators. Yeah, check out Sal Buscema, man. Definitely digging his Spider-Man too. Just kind of looking here at the covers. Yeah, so they have the, what is that, the 25th anniversary Spider-Man stuff with the 4 hologram covers. They even have like the Maximum Carnage tie-in. I remember this, man. I think this was versus Kraven's son or something like that. I'm sure we'll see it. You know, I used to describe this often on the channel back in the early days. I always liked it when they showed that kind of in-motion movement that Spider-Man does to show off his agility and everything. It must have been Sal that did that a lot in the artwork that I was recalling. And, of course, the triangle feet. I always kind of like that look as well. Kind of trippy design behind them. All right, so it's going to open up to some baby blues. Man, you got to love that artwork. Spidey sense going crazy. Got the web backpack on. Here's our credits. Nice big red pages. Table of contents. Man. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Peter going crazy. Okay, here we go. So Soul of the Hunter graphic novel. Starts off with that, with a little Kraven's Last Hunt action. Mike Zeck with J.M. DeMatteis. Yo, I see J.M. DeMatteis on Facebook getting like his omnibus comping and seeing how excited he was. It was getting me even more excited. Look, another kind of one of those showing the movement things. Yeah, so what was this? A graphic novel like following up Kraven's Last Hunt, Spider-Man dealing with the death of Kraven. And here's wrapping that up, giving you like the back cover. Then we're jumping into 178, so post Kraven's Last Hunt. So this takes place right after that. I remember this Vermin story, man. Dang. So these were the issues that were on the shelves when I was a kid. And I never had all of the issues. I had like the hologram covers and the foil covers, and I had like Maximum Carnage. I had the trade paperback. So I always like getting these Omnis that fill in the blanks that I didn't have growing up. So I haven't read all this stuff yet. This is a keeper for sure, unless they catch up to it in the volumes maybe, and then I'll make a decision. But yeah, a lot of psychedelic stuff going on with Harry and Norman. The whole Green Goblin saga was a big thing during this run. You also have like Vulture, Puma as some of the villains here. And of course, Carnage. Yeah, man, I love how we get the exact cover. They gave it a little graphical border, which I'm not mad at. Oh, this was cool. Taking off his face and it's Green Goblin. Yeah, I remember a lot of psychedelic, trippy kind of mind stuff going on here. Digging the artwork. Yeah, this is cool. This is like right around my era. This is 90s, man. This is 90s stuff in between big events and during big events, I guess you could say, with Maximum Carnage. Yeah, so here's the Vulture stuff. Get the idea. Definitely my favorite era of comics. Check out the big hologram cover. Loved those. Again, why are we not bringing back holograms? They're bringing back foils. We need holograms, especially with 3D sculpting and stuff these days. May looking crazy. Okay, so 190. That's the cover for this dust jacket, which looks great, though. It does look good. Oh, being too rough. Oh, here goes the annual. With the new Warriors. Little Venom action. It's cool. Fake Double Dragon. Oh, yeah, here's all the Puma stuff. Revisiting that villain, Mary Jane here. More Vermin. Yeah, great Omni. So this one comes out on, oh, did I not even say that? So this one comes out on August 27th. So these are all kind of like a week apart. A lot of Spider-Man in August for you guys. Fallen Heroes. All right, so you get the idea. We don't need to go through the whole book. Here's the Maximum Carnage tie-in. Demo Goblin. Very cool. Let's see what they gave us as far as bonus materials. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff from this era. Oh, maybe not that much. So it gives us the Clone Saga Omnibus hardcover. So that's what's after this. So it bridges that gap. All right, so we got some trading cards here. Here's, like I said, the sculpt, it's a statue. That's how they created the holograms. They must have taken this from another omnibus. I've seen this before. We need to bring holograms back. All right, so we got some pinups, blue foil variant for 213, original page and cover. So we're getting a lot of original art in the back. That's very cool to see. This is the kind of stuff I like, though. So this is the Spider-Man and the Uncanny X-Men trade paperback, which collects 197 through 198 of Spectacular plus more. Jim Calafiore cover. This is what I had, y'all. This is the trade. This is like the first trade paperback I ever bought. Maximum Carnage. That's the Ron Lim cover. That's right. Look, they got an old afterword by JM. They could have hit him up just now. Some trade paperback kind of recolorings. And that is everything, guys. 3 new Spider-Man Omnis. Symbiote Spider-Man comes out basically tomorrow or today. This comes out the following week and then the week after on August 27th. Are you picking any of these up? Let me know in the comments down below if you are or if you're not. Let me know why. Appreciate you watching. Stay minty fresh. Peace.